This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Internet Was a Mistake. Today we're gonna be talking about some drawings that I made, don't we always? So here in this glorious dumpster fire that we call the internet, there's this thing that people do where they will turn things, pretty much any general concept, into an anime girl. An adorable kawaii anime girl. I don't know why. No, I do know why. It's fun, that's why. Artists gonna art. The most classic examples I can think of are Earth-chan and Ebola-chan. Two things that have no business being anime girls that have been turned into cute anime girls. And you know, I'm an artist, and so a long time ago I thought, why don't I do that with some suggestions from you guys on Twitter? And I did, and it was fun, so we're doing it again. Another series that I would love to do more of. Last time I made one of these videos, I had no idea what this concept was called, but apparently these are called gaijinkas, which I'm sure I'm just eviscerating with my harsh American accent. The word gaijinka is Japanese, and so generally these characters have the suffix chan and kun, if I'm correct. If not, I don't care, correct me. I'm sure someone in the comments is explaining this better. You can go read those later. Yeah, this video is gonna be weird. It's late. My brain is not working at 100%. So I reached out on Twitter and I asked you guys to give me some things to turn into anime girls, so this monstrosity of a video is also your fault. This is what you get for encouraging me. The first one I picked was from Mr. Sinister, who suggested masks because they're important. Thank you to everyone who suggests masks. Masks are important. Please wear them so that we can get through this pandemic. Oh, the plague. It kind of doesn't even feel real anymore. Like, have we ever not been in a pandemic? Let's have a look at the time-lapse replay. I started with some big fluffy pigtails because I feel like those are a pretty common trope among these kinds of characters. It's also a really easy thing to draw. I decided to make her top kind of also inspired by a mask, so it's got the two bands that connect it up at the neckline. Jazzchan's whole existence is to try and get you to wear your freaking mask. Just kind of passionate about the deadly pandemic we're currently in. I also added some latex gloves because that felt very appropriate. I gave her olive undertones, which are kind of like a desaturated kind of blue. When it comes to skin tones, there are generally three undertones: yellow, pink, and olive. If you have yellow undertones, then your skin is more warm colored, whereas if you have pink undertones, you have more of a blush. And if you have olive undertones, then your skin is just more kind of desaturated. It's almost like a blue-green zombie color, like mine. My skin tone is somewhere between yellow and olive, and that's kind of what I did with her skin tone. In terms of a color scheme, I figured blue and cyan made the most sense, considering that this is supposed to be like surgical mask, surgical glove kind of thing. Throughout these drawings, I used a couple different methods for shading, but for this one, I used a very classic method. I don't know how to say it otherwise. The shadows in this aren't gradients. They're very stark block colors. I'm kind of at this weird stagnant point in my anime eye art where they all just kind of look the same. Like, I generally put all of my highlights and gradients in the same place, but these ones really pop. Like, compared to the rest of the drawing, the strongest part is the eyes. And then the very last thing that I did was to go in and color the line art. Black is a very deep, very harsh color. Line art doesn't have to be black, pupils don't have to be black. When it comes to digital art, coloring the line art is something you can do to soften the overall piece and kind of make it blend together better. Not that there's no place for 100% pitch black, but still just be aware of the choices that you're making and question why you're making those choices in your artistic process. Whoa, real art advice, what are you doing? And then for the background, I used this bacteria colony looking brush that I found in Procreate that was kind of cool. Yep, that's my whole inspiration. So this is Jazzchan. What do we got next? This is another one I'm really happy with. So Luke suggested that I make Ikeachan, which is a concept I love, probably more than I should. I love IKEA. IKEA's fun. When I was designing Ikeachan, I kind of liked the idea of her being like a bit of a like futuristic robot that kind of has to be assembled in the same way that IKEA furniture has to be assembled. So if you look really close at her elbow, she actually has those little wooden pegs that you get in IKEA furniture that you use to like slot things together. And she's also missing fingers. They're probably in the box somewhere. I probably should have looked up the official IKEA colors, but I really didn't feel like it because I built an IKEA in Minecraft, so I know roughly what they are. IKEA is a magical place. I decided since the IKEA brand colors are yellow and blue that I should go ahead and give her yellow undertones undertones. And then for the shading in this one, I decided to do gradients instead of solid block colors, so it was a little bit faster. Idealistically, if I was going to spend a lot of time on an art piece, I would probably do both gradient shading and block shading. Originally, I was just going to make her eyes blue, and then I thought that it might be kind of cool to just have yellow highlights. Procreate has a really good light brush, which is really fun to play with, so I also use that to make her various pieces kind of look glossy and shiny. I like the idea of making the background look like this very bright, you are walking through the light section of IKEA kind of fluorescence. So I used the luminescence light pen to make this very bright yellow background. She's so cute! I feel like I did an okay job with this one. I really like her as a character. I could see making like a mini comic about her. I need to remember to put my name on these. I never put my name on these. This next suggestion I was super happy about, and a lot of people like this comment. This one was just very, very clever. Drawny Dreams suggested this picture. Now, what many of you may not know is that this image is actually called Jazz, otherwise known as the 90s cup decoration. I recommend reading the Know Your Meme page about it because it is fascinating, iconic. So this is Jazzchan. I like the idea of her being like a little cheeky. I also wanted to incorporate as many crazy zigzags as I possibly could. So I gave her giant zigzaggy hair and then also a zigzaggy cheek blush. In terms of her outfit, I decided that it would be kind of cool if I could make the sleeves look a little bit like giant cups. So I put her in this white dress with a very like open shoulder and very big poofy sleeves. Originally I wanted to have the hair both kind of like a cyan and purple, but the purple just didn't look right. So I ended up just turning it into a highlight. There are some aspects to this drawing that I feel like aren't completely finished. I feel like I could do more work on the hair. I'm not super happy with how the eye came out. And then of course the background is just some random texture squibbles, kind of toned down so they can just kind of fade back. This one is okay. I feel like I could do better though. Also, what are those hands? That is like a first pass at drawing hands. Trash. Thank you, Drawny. That was a great suggestion. I approve. Oh, I didn't color the line art on this one. That's probably partly why I feel like it doesn't look right. A project for another day that will never come. This next one was suggested by Damien, Dice Master Dumb Teen Boy. What? And they suggested Salmon Sharks. I love that the internet has just learned about salmon sharks. I didn't know about them before this. I didn't know about salmon sharks until like 2 weeks ago. They are magical. They're like great white sharks, but mini. They're like chibi sharks, and their eyes are huge. So when it comes to making these characters, I feel like a lot of the time I make them look a little bit too old to be kawaii. Kawaii. Like they don't look little enough. But this one was perfect. I gave her a double nostril and really sharp little baby teeth, and gigantic black eyes, like a doll's eyes. For her clothes, I gave her kind of like a tank top swimsuit underneath a sweater with sleeves that are way too big. That way the sleeves fall over her hands and look kind of like fins. I also gave her little bangs because they look kind of sharp and tooth-like. And then I also gave her some very tight round pigtails that also kind of look fin-esque. As far as the prompt goes, I feel like this character pretty adequately captures the idea of a salmon shark. Also, I like the idea of coming back to this and doing like just an anime woman version of a great white shark, or maybe like a great white shark-kun, like a beefy great white shark older brother. The colors on this one are pretty straightforward because, you know, sharks, bunch of monochrome. Doing block color shadows takes a lot of time, and I did not feel like doing that with this, so I just did basic gradient shadows because they're easier, but they add just as much depth, so it's better to do both of them, but we're not going there. I also like how her two nostrils just add to the whole baby shark do thing. Oh god, I drew a baby shark. Now before I show you the last anime girl that I made, I want to tell you about this video's sponsor, HelloFresh. I seriously do love HelloFresh. I have yet to have a single meal from HelloFresh that I do not absolutely love, and they teach me things like how to put cheese inside a burger patty before you cook it. What? That is a food life hack right there. According to Time Institute, the average trip to the grocery store takes about 41 minutes, and with HelloFresh, you can skip those trips and get everything you need to make a chef-curated meal delivered right to your door. HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so you know that you'll get something delicious every time. Because all of HelloFresh's ingredients are pre-proportioned, There's a lot less prep work, but also a lot less food waste. You can easily change your delivery dates, your food preferences, or just skip a week whenever you need to. It's a very convenient service. Fun fact, HelloFresh donated over 2.5 million meals to charity in 2019. And this year they're stepping up their game with even more food donations. Use the code EchoGillette80 to get a total of $80 off, including free shipping on your first box with purchase. Go to HelloFresh.com to redeem and for more details. Once again, a big thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and just being generally really good. So for the last anime girl in this video, I want to make a little HelloFresh gaijinka. So one of the things that I wanted to do with this was that I wanted to dive headfirst into the more chibi direction, like the super concentrated ball of cuteness tiny girl version of gaijinkas. Like something you would see on a Subway poster in Japan. Kawaii to the max. Because HelloFresh's logo is a lime, I decided to kind of embrace that in terms of color and shape. So I decided for 2 lime earrings and then also some very big round-ish hair. Also, when I was first sketching this out, my Apple Pencil died. So most of the initial sketch is done with my finger. I drew it like a finger painting. For a cute little dress, I decided to section out the bottom kind of like the inside of a lime wedge, as if you were to like cut it halfway across. And it looks super cute! Coloring this was pretty easy. I tried to stick to kind of more block colors and I had thicker lines in some parts. I feel like when you're drawing things anime-esque, line width is very intentional. If you're drawing something like the previous drawings that I've been doing, the line work is usually very, very thin. But if you're doing something that's supposed to be more stylized and blocky, kind of like this, the line work will be thicker. Pay attention to your line width. It is something that's kind of important and it can make or break a drawing sometimes. Just something to consider. Annoyingly enough, I think that this one is the cutest one of all of the ones that I drew, and I really like her. And I might just have to switch to this style for all future gaijinka videos. We're fine. We're just gonna hide. Everything is fine. Everything's great. It's like 10 at night. I should probably be going to bed soon, so I'm gonna take off. Let me know if you like this style of video. I think I'm just recycled Markiplier at this point. Thank you for coming with me on this wonderful internet mistake we've made. You get 1,000 awesome points for making it all the way to the end of this video. Once again, if you use the code EchoGillette80, you can get a total of $80 off, including free shipping on your first box with purchase. You can redeem this code and get more details at HelloFresh.com. I'm gonna go figure out what I'm doing with the rest of my life now. If you have any ideas for things that would make really cute anime girls, feel free to post it in the comments and I will probably pull from there next time. But in the meantime, I think we're done here. You have a wonderful day. Goodbye. I don't know, unleash your inner cringe, my friend.